What's up, baby?
Turkey killing mofos. Hey, you a professional now.
You got her? Heck yeah, man. That's awesome, dude. Hell yeah.
Storytelling in regards to hunting and fishing has gone back hundreds of thousands of years.
Yeah.
Literally on the rock walls of our nation.
Push it.
Yes, sir.
What you doing, Brandon?
Go. By the way, your nipples are already wet.
I just shot probably one of the most epic scenes, probably ever. These two monster bugs got after it, and it was so cool.
That's about like what you want it to look like. Cover it.
Oh, he's so handsome.
That's a big deer, Megs.
He's big. He's a big boy. That's talking whitetail.
That's what I'm talking about, baby.
Holy crap.
Look at those hooves.
Everybody wants to be a turkey hunter until it's time to do turkey hunters.
What's up, guys, and welcome to episode 56 of the Tejas Hunt Club Podcast. I'm your host, Brandon McDowell, and I'm also joined by
Meagan McDowell.
And this week, we have a pretty good topic. Why you need an AR. Specifically, a hunting AR, but one that could have multiple uses as well. But before we get into the podcast, we're going to take care of a little business. I want to say congratulations to Tejas Hunt Club's own Jared Erickson. If you listened to podcast episode number 55, we talked a little turkeys, we talked about tack, and the precursor to him going to Africa.
Mm-hmm.
So as we record this podcast right now,
He's on his third animal, fourth animal, maybe?
Something like that. But he's been over there for a little while. I think
10
he's
days. Yeah.
had a Gimsbuck, an eland,
Mm-hmm. Kudu.
and a kudu.
Mm-hmm.
So all great African animals. Really proud of him. Really cool trip that he's on right now. Check out Tejas Hunt Club's Instagram and Facebook, and you can check out some of the animals that he's already taken. There's one that we talked about in the podcast that I hope he gets a chance at, but he's running out of time a little bit.
Yeah.
So that just means another trip to the Dark Continent in the future. But big shout out to him. Like I said, go check out all the stuff. We're going to do another podcast when he gets back to recap the whole trip, because I know he's got some pretty cool stories. Anytime you travel and hunt, let alone across the ocean, you're going to have some good stuff to bring back and talk about. I don't know if I want to mention that yet. I'll leave that alone. So, if you've been listening to any other podcasts, or if this is your first one, please like, subscribe, leave us a review.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't asked that much about the reviews on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, but it really helps us out, and we greatly appreciate it. So,
Helps us get it out to more people.
For sure. So if you leave us a rating, and also share it with a friend, pick your favorite episode and send it over to them. Tell them to check out the podcast. We appreciate it. That's good. So the question, why you need an AR? Multiple reasons. I have a few myself, and I think it varies from person to person, and especially when it comes to different calibers and what you're trying to do with that AR. Now, I know it's mostly a hunting podcast, and most people, unless you're hunting hogs or something like that, most people don't think of...
You don't normally see it in application in a hunting environment. I never did.
No.
I never did growing up. All bolt guns.
Yep, most people are definitely into bolt guns when it comes to hunting. And I can kind of understand why. The history on ARs is, mostly tailored towards the military and doing
Combat.
Those kind of operations. And for the most part, there was a lot of ARs that weren't that reliable. Weren't that accurate as well. and especially like most time people think 5.56 or 2.23, you know, for these smaller calibers in these platforms, so they weren't really used for AR, used for hunting applications or anything like that. But as we get, you know, down the line, we get some more technology, some different calibers, some different things that come into effect. And I know for me, it was like I said, you think of ARs, you think of like 300 blackout, 5.56, 2.23, and even you can get into some ARs that shoot 7.62 by 39 now, or an AK. And most people don't think of like hunting applications except for like hogs and stuff. But like I said, with technology coming out, there's some new calibers out there that are, you know, shaking it up a little bit. So I this podcast is not, and we're going to do different videos and have more podcasts and stuff, but it's by no means to say that we're experts
far from it.
at this. But
we're very curious, and we've chased a lot of that curiosity. Let's just say that.
Yeah,
we're trying a bunch of new things.
That's a good way to put it, for sure. I like that. But we just wanted to pass on the information to our listeners and our viewers of the YouTube channel, because I mean that's why we do this. I mean, honestly, we like doing it and messing with guns and stuff ourselves. But we want to pass on what we find to other people. So starting out, I guess you'll say, with our builds that we've doing, I kind of dove into it in different ways. So first off, I bought multiple lowers to build off of.
Yeah.
Had one time, just because, you know, they were on sale. And that's a cool thing about building ARs. I think it's the fact that you can buy an off-the-shelf rifle already built, multiple manufacturers, and new ones popping up every day, that you can build an AR right off the shelf that's going to perform the way that you want to do it, in various colors, because I mean Cerakote's real cool and people like to make it their own.
Some people just like to buy the AR itself, and then all they have to do is slap on an optic, maybe a suppressor, and they roll with it.
Always like, a suppressor. We're civilized.
Not everyone.
Well, they should, if they don't.
Yes.
Sounds
we'll get into that in a minute.
Shameless plug.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's multiple ways you can go this, or you can go the route of building your own. Now, I will say, if you're not the type of person that enjoys tinkering,
oh Lord have mercy,
that enjoys using tools and using your hands and putting things together, I would highly suggest.
Even if you do, okay, look,
there's a different level of patience that you need.
Yes, even if you do like tinkering, I mean, just be prepared to spend a lot of time wondering why this little bitty peg won't fit into that little bitty hole. And I mean, it is wild. My first experience was beyond frustrating. Beyond.
I can say this. I can say the same thing for me by putting together. But
once it's all done, said and done, it's really cool. It's like worth the invest in time and frustration.
Yeah.
But definitely prepare yourself. It's not just like, you know, a peg goes in a hole perfectly.
Yeah. It's making sure that you also have the right tools. Another shameless plug, Real Avid. If you're wanting to get into
game changer
gunsmithing, I mean, even for bolt guns, your pistols, taking care of your shotguns, anything like that, I highly suggest you go check out Real Avid. They hooked us up with a bunch of tools and a vise and all kinds of stuff for us to do our builds with. So check them out.
What's that little thing? The detent. For the detents, what is it called?
The AR-15 pivot tool.
The pivot tool.
Yeah.
You have, the vise and the pivot tool. If you can't get anything else, get those two.
Yeah, the vise and the pivot tool are the best things that you can get if you're only going to get a couple things, for sure. But they hooked us up. I will say, do your research on your tools and make sure you have those before you dive into this.
Yes.
And like I said, there's different levels to this, man. Like you can buy them off the shelf. You can buy disassembled parts and piece together a Frankenstein build if you want to, or you can buy parts that are pre-assembled. So my first run on doing this was my 300 blackout build.
Because you already had a 300 blackout bolt gun.
Yeah, the Ruger American Ranch rifle, which I love. It's got more bodies than
from Mentors, or Mentees,
Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition.
Oh my gosh.
No
plug there at all.
No, but it's a bit of great rifle. I really like that caliber. And when I bought that gun, I had plans on building an AR and 300 Blackout eventually one day as well. But I bought those lowers. And then with the 300 Blackout, I bought a complete upper. So the complete upper comes with your BCG, which is your bolt carrier group, your upper receiver, your barrel, your handguard, and your gas system, which, like I said, that's going to be your complete upper. So instead of putting that together the first time, I opted to go with assembling my lower for the first time, which is going to be your trigger, your fire control group, your safety, your mag release, your bolt catch release, and your buffer system. So in my mind, and I guess in application too, that was an easier thing to assemble than the upper for me.
Oh, 1000%.
Yeah.
I was in here with the upper with you on your other gun. And it was like, now I see why so many people buy. It made me want to buy a complete upper.
Yeah, exactly. So, got the 300 Blackout build put together. You can check out Instagram. I posted a couple pics of it. We'll do a gear video, and I'll break down that whole build here pretty soon. But go do the whole build list and all that kind of stuff. But put that one together.
So what made you want to do a 300 Blackout AR platform over the bolt gun instead of doing a different caliber first? Just because you love the 300 Blackout?
I love 300 Blackout. Like, I really like that caliber.
And you already had some ammo too.
Yeah.
Some
ammo. But
it's always good to have the same caliber.
Yeah, it's just redundancy and just being able to use the same caliber, use the same AR style mags in the Ruger American Ranch rifle, so that went over to the AR2. But for me, 300 Blackout is a great home defense round. It's the build is a 10.5 inch barrel, so it's a shorter barrel. It is SBR'd. Did go through the process through silencer shop for the Form 1 to get all compliant with the ATF and everything, which we'll talk about that too as well. So that's the main reason I like shooting it. Deer, hogs.
It's a great varmint gun.
It's worked great for me. And like I said, the round was made for shooting out of AR. It was made to be shooting out of AR and shooting suppressed. And for, special kinds of people.
Lovely.
Yeah, special kind of people to carry it around to get rid of bad people. So that's another reason why I like that round. Shout out Kevin Brittingham over at Q. When he was over at AAC, they came up with that round. So 300 Blackout's a great round. When I first got into it, the ammo was a whole lot cheaper. Since then, it's gone up a little bit. But there's also been more manufacturers of the ammo hopping into the game, so it kind of keeps the price down a little bit. You have options. You can shop around. I mean, from Hornady with their 110s, 110 grain bullets to, Gorilla Ammunition with their 220 subsonic, 220 grain subsonic rounds. So it's and they're made for hunting, not just for just target shooting. So 300 Blackout's a great round to start.
Really, so it's a decision made based on a lot of different things, but like availability of ammo, diversity of ammo.
Yeah.
Right? So not all calibers have that same diversity.
Not for the newer calibers.
I'm obviously still learning, y'all.
Yeah.
So you're gonna hear me ask a lot of questions even on this podcast.
Yeah. So with 300 Blackout, since it is a newer round compared to 5.56, which has been around for a long time.
Yeah. That's when I think of AR, I think of 5.56.
Yeah, or 223, same thing. But so those calibers have been around a lot longer, so there was more availability. 300 Blackout kind of got popular around.
I gotcha.
2008, 2009. So it hasn't been around manufactured for that long. But that's why I went with that. So I mentioned earlier about SBRs. So we'll hop into that real quick. The ATF, which is alcohol, tobacco, and firearms, three-letter agency in the government, decided that anything less than a 16-inch barrel is considered a short-barreled rifle, which means you have to pay a $200 tax stamp and file paperwork to own it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's different things that attribute to an SBR besides the barrel length. If you ran anything shorter than a 16-inch, but you didn't put a full stock, maybe you use a pistol brace instead, it is not considered an SBR.
Which visually, to me, looks like the same damn thing. Some of these laws that I have seen since learning and building my own, I'm just like, so you're telling me this piece is the illegal piece, but the rest of it can be shipped to my door.
Yeah, it's not.
But if I have this piece, then it's an illegal rifle.
Yeah, it's not
is
been constructed
bizarre.
with common sense,
No.
to say the least.
No.
But you also can't have a vertical grip
Right.
with a barrel length less than 16 inches.
But an angled one.
But an angled one will
You're
work.
fine.
You're fine.
There's so many nuances. It's wild.
And there also, you have to file paperwork to travel across some state lines. Same kind of deal with some states and suppressors as well. But like I was saying, so that's considered an SBR, short barrel rifle. If you did opt into using the pistol brace, it would be considered a pistol.
Mm-hmm.
So that's with all of your AR calibers or AR style rifles / pistols / SBRs. So like I said, I went through and did the paperwork. Mine's a 10.5-inch barrel, which it's still, most people hear that and they're like, well, what kind of performance are you seeing?
Right.
Because, barrel length kind of extends to velocity, which extends to the performance of the bullet, which comes back to the technology thing. These cartridges are designed for different barrel lengths. Now, not just like slapping a 26-inch barrel on your 300 Win Mag and being like, this is, I'm shooting good because it's moving fast.
Right.
Well, this bullet and this cartridge was designed to run on these shorter barrel rifles, which is what you're getting to with most of these newer calibers too. They're performing better on shorter barreled rifles.
Mm-hmm.
Now, your first rifle that we decided to do for you was a 5.56.
Yep.
Just because although I say 5.56 is an older caliber, it is also one of the most abundant calibers next to 9mm. It's probably goes back and forth between those two.
Yep.
But 5.56 is readily available. There's lots and lots of different options that you can go with ammo wise and build parts wise.
Yeah.
So
the only thing that I had to wait on was my trigger.
Yeah.
The one that I wanted.
Yeah.
Everything else was pretty, pretty much. You had the lower already.
Yep. So with that, like I said, I kind of wanted to get you on the 5.56 just because obviously ammo is readily available. It's easier to train with. And
you plan to eventually build one, right?
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna build a 5.56
that's kind of what we
rifle.
considered too. Whenever we talked about what I want to build a 300 Blackout as well.
Yeah,
that'll be my second gun probably. If I don't build a deer rifle instead, I don't know. I'm trying to decide. But the 5.56, I had a lower parts kit that I put together.
Yep.
Lord willing, that was a hilarious afternoon. Got that together, and I basically had waited till I had everything to start putting stuff together. And so I did the lower parts kit, the buffer tube, the stock, put my complete upper, because I told you guys I watched Brandon put together his upper on his other gun, and I just decided it'd be better to do the complete upper. Again, same approach that he had with his first one. So
yeah,
fine there. Complete upper from Aero Precision as well. And then Magpul stock, we had the Kung Fu Tiger Claw, right? The grip on the front. And then that's Die Hard. I can't remember all the different things. Look at me just naming them off. And then my trigger was CMC trigger.
Yep.
So those are the main pieces there. But the coolest thing about all of our lowers is the Texas star
Yeah.
on them.
The shape of
I love
Texas
that
and the
about
star.
it too. Yeah, but that is almost done. I got my stock Vortex stock. That is almost done. I have a Vortex scope, but it's not sighted in yet.
Yeah.
And then I need a suppressor. So almost done.
Yeah.
But
those will be the two next things.
I'm pumped about it.
Yeah. So with yours, we didn't go the SBR route.
No.
We went ahead and got the 16-inch barrel for yours.
Mhm.
Just easy the process. And also, you wanted to, I know also, I mean, it's not that you can't run drills and stuff with a shorter barrel. It's actually kind of more beneficial,
Right.
but also kind of introing you into, maybe some long range stuff too.
Yeah.
It's
Well, I had to think about purpose. I want to do some training. My biggest goal is to do 3-gun, but that's another story. I wanted to do some training, but I also want to use it out at the ranch. And
Yeah.
so like that was kind of the decision on where I went with my barrel length.
Yeah. And I mean, you think about 5.56, your different grain weights, most 55 grain, 62 grain. But there is some, obviously new technology, Badlands ammunition and Black Arc ammunition coming out with some 77 grain and 80 grain stuff, that are performing very, very well on hogs and coyotes
Yeah.
and all the varmints that we want to chase.
Mm-hmm.
And then, there's been a couple of guys, that have shot some deer with them. I'm not opposed. If you put a bullet where
I feel like
the
a
bullet
whitetail deer
needs to
I'd
go.
be comfortable with.
Oh yeah. I'm not talking like
sure.
mule deer or anything like
Okay,
that. Like
but
whitetail
bigger
deer.
than that.
Hey man, you put a bullet where it's supposed to go. It'll work.
Okay, sure. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. You just got to put it where it needs to go.
Right.
But yeah, went that route with that. So we're gonna be trying some different ammo with you.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, training with the 55 grain for the most part, but we'll get some of that, special stuff.
Yeah.
Shooting long range and for going hunting with.
Yep.
Now, for me, my second build, I didn't go the 5.56 route.
You were going to, but then
I was going to.
Yeah.
But shout out to Wade Chandler over at Texas Predator Hunting Podcast. I every week I'm downloading his podcast and listen to what he has to say.
We watch them.
Yeah, watch him on
screen.
YouTube channel too. But he is a wealth of knowledge, and I can promise you, if you ask us a question or ask me a question I don't know the answer, he's probably going to be a resource that I either reach out to or try to go back into his library of content to figure out for you, because he knows a lot about bolt guns, shooting long range, ARs, a lot of things. So if you're not listening to Texas Predator Hunter Podcast, obviously don't stop listening to ours right now to go look up his. But once you finish our podcast, go check out his. He has a lot of information as well.
I mean, and he was one of the ones that I listened to a couple times when I was making a decision on my optic.
Yep.
I told Brandon one time, I was like, it's actually enjoyable listening to him as compared to some of the other AR people. I don't even know.
Gun tubers.
The industry. Yeah. Gun tubers that we pulled up before. I'm like, let's just go listen to him. And it's kind of like the application that we're going to be using.
Yeah, he's real big into hunting. It's like all of his builds and stuff are more hunting focused than a lot of the guys that are doing
and he'll talk about your truck gun
stuff
versus your hog gun versus your deer gun so it's really cool listening to him.
Yeah. So after listening to him and coming out with one of his favorite calibers, I went with 6-ARC.
Mm-hmm.
Now 6-ARC is a really, really new caliber, but it offers some pretty cool performance for shooting long range and for hunting at longer ranges. So real similar to 5.56, still fits in an AR-15 platform. Takes a little bit different mags and a little in a different BCG or bolt face in the BCG, but it looks real similar to 5.56, but the bullets are pack a little bit heavier of a punch. There is a wide variety of grain weights with the 6-ARC, so you can mold it to kind of whatever application that you want to go with, down from like 60 grain bullets all the way up to 108s. And I'm sure as the longer it goes, I'm sure some 110s or 112s.
Why is it that it's so diverse if it's new?
There's just different applications, and just the design of the bullet sees performance, like all of those grain weights perform well
Yeah.
in that same casing, in that same cartridge.
Okay.
So it's just applicable for different things. Like if we're coyote hunting and, you know, we lived in a place where they had good fur, we'd want to shoot like a 60 grain bullet.
Mm-hmm.
It's moving a little faster. You're not going to have it's not going to tear up the hide as much.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have good fur after you shoot the coyote. Now you shoot the 110, the 108s, the 105s, it's going to be a little bit worse.
Mm-hmm.
But you're still going to have like great performance. Now, those heavier grain weights, you can shoot larger animals.
Yep.
So that's the main reason why. But like it just performs well with all those grain weights. So it's a real cool caliber like that came out recently. But essentially, it was once again developed for the military, as most cartridges that come out are.
Mm-hmm.
But the military was tired of, you know, carrying 308, and they were seeing so terminal performance downrange with 5.56 kind of peters out after 400 yards.
Yeah.
So a lot of the guys that they were going to find were, you know, hanging out at 6, 7,
Mm-hmm.
800 yards, and you know 5.56 obviously it's still going to hurt if it hits you, but it's not as terminal. So the military went to carrying 308, but that's bigger rifles, more heavier ammo, heavier mags, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So they wanted something in between that could still have the performance out to 600, 700 yards. So they developed the 6-arc cartridge. So it's pretty cool. Like I said, we're going to do a video on that build once I get it complete and get an optic. I did get to pick up the Cat Noah suppressor.
Came home from work. Guess what Daddy did today? I'm like, what did you buy?
Yeah, Cat Noah. I run the Cat ODB on my 300 blackout build. I really like Cat suppressors. They perform very, very well. I'm really excited for their ARs and 5.56 that are coming out and 300 blackout. So probably pick up
I'm getting close to probably the WB.
Yeah,
I think that's the one we're looking at it at least.
Yeah. At least
if
the WB
not the one you just
or the Noah, because you can shoot 5.56 through that one as well.
Yep.
But great suppressors. If y'all do have any suppressor questions, please feel free, hit me up. I will be glad to answer them for you. But picked up that can, so got that. I'm waiting on an optic from Athlon.
The way you said that.
It's been frustrating, man. Like sometimes when you're putting these things together, especially when you're piecing them, it's like you have a part or you find something that you really, really want, and then you go to look at it and it's just out of stock. And it's like, where and when is this going to come in stock? And like something like an optic is kind of a big thing,
key
like something
element.
that you need. So I'll be honest, I'm being a little picky on this too. I'm being very picky on
yes.
But I want this build to be able to do a couple different things. So that's why
you already bought
I'm
one that
so
you
picky.
thought you were going to use on this.
Yeah, I did. I bought it. I bought an optic that I went to mount it and it just didn't look right. It just didn't fit, and I didn't like it. So we'll slap that on something else, and we'll
that was an MPVO, right? Yeah.
Yes, that was Vortex PST 3-18, and it was just really long.
Yeah,
like it was
didn't fit the rifle.
No, and
unnecessary.
Man, to me, like it's got to look cool.
Yeah, I like the way my LPVO looks.
Yeah, like
the Viper.
Guns got to look cool to me. That's half the reason why we love them.
Yeah,
obviously performance is a big thing. Like it doesn't matter if it looks good and it doesn't perform, but I want my guns to look good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm like going to clean it all the time and have it like dusted and everything like that, but like the scheme of it and the way it looks, it has to look nice.
Yeah.
And that's the way I want it. And it just didn't do that with that
like
Vortex.
The truck, like it could be dirty.
Yeah, but it's got to look good. It's got to look good.
Yeah.
But real excited to get an optic for that. Hopefully soon. We'll see. There's some other options I can go with that I've researched, but they're a lot more money.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Loophole Mark 5, They have a 2-10 and a 2-12, but it's like $2,200 for an optic.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that's a whole lot of money. It's more than the whole gun combined.
Mm-hmm.
So which
I mean,
most of the time it is
wrong. It's very important.
it's worth it. I'm not saying Loophole is bad or it's not worth the money, but for this build, we'll see.
Again, purpose.
Yes.
Right? Like, ask yourself every single time you're choosing a caliber, choosing a barrel length, like, what is the purpose for this gun? Not like, what is everybody else building?
Yeah.
It's what are you doing with it?
Yeah.
Like, what's the purpose?
And I mean, one day could I upgrade the optic? Sure. But is this probably going to be my only 6-arc build? Probably not.
I mean, and that's, I think, why I was so adamant. Well, listening to the podcast that he said about the different LPVO, MPVO, red dots, things like that. I thought I wanted a red dot with a magnifier at first. And in a hunting scenario, that's not the best idea. With it for 400 yards, like you said, max 400 yards. I wanted something that would reach a little bit further than that. But with LPVO, I can still have a short range in a tactical training situation as well. And so it's very adaptable to both. It's not specialized in either.
Yeah.
Right. So like the red dot would be probably like strictly training and tactical, different courses and things like that. Whereas like the MPVO is perfect for long range on the 6-arc or a bigger gun.
Yeah.
I think I'm like both right now, kind of like a hybrid use.
Yeah.
Case.
And I mean, they make quick detach like mounts and stuff, so you can switch stuff out.
I got one of those.
And you can always upgrade later on. That's what's cool about this. You can switch
Legos,
stuff out.
Yes.
It's adult Legos, but
Yep.
Excuse me. Once we get that optic in, I'll do a whole build video and then obviously have some other videos of us taking it to the range, shooting it, put it in the application, because obviously we want to show y'all how it performs, so not just show you what it looks like and how good it looks.
Well, it's great for home defense. Looks great in the corner, but I mean, no point.
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, what you told me today about like you have to go out and shoot these guns. How many rounds was it? Whenever you first break them, you have to break them in. Side
note: my build is got a proof research barrel. Break-in period is usually 100 rounds, somewhere close to that.
Mm-hmm.
From what I've been researching and finding out, and then you can start going into like grouping your rifle and dialing it in and everything. But real pumped to hopefully get that done real soon. Until then, gonna try and do some training and stuff with 300 blackout.
Mm-hmm.
Shorter range, inside are usually 100 yards of stuff, and just running that gun as best I can.
My barrel won't need all that break-in time. Like your 300 blackout didn't need that with the complete upper.
There is a break-in period, but that gun wasn't built for there's different barrels. So barrels are either like hard use to where you're doing heavy strings of fire, or they're more precision oriented. It's just kind of it's a whole separate conversation.
Oh, yeah.
A whole separate podcast on barrels and how they're made and why they're made, and tapers and links and gas systems and all that kind of stuff. And like as we get into this, like I had to even figure out what gas system I was going to run on my gun. So that was like one of the bigger questions. The length of the gas system to be used on my AR. So depending on your barrel length will depend on like your gas system.
That was probably one of
the
hardest things for us to install on your gun.
Yeah.
Was the
gas system. And that's the one thing that I'm kind of like, we'll see if it works right. But what's worst case scenario is
hopefully it doesn't just unfire. It wouldn't cycle.
Worst case scenario, it doesn't cycle.
Yeah.
It is an adjustable gas block, so I am able to make changes to it and open it up wider to allow more gas, or to get it to cycle reliably.
Well, I mean, especially, would you start out shooting it suppressed, or would you start out without the suppressor? And
no. I'm shooting it suppressed.
Adjusting everything based on a suppressor.
Based on it being suppressed as well, because that suppressor, like I won't shoot that gun without a suppressor.
Agreed.
And I'm really trying hard not to shoot any rifle without suppressor.
Yeah.
Because I mean, once you
at this point, there's just really no need to do that.
Yeah, I
There
mean,
really
once you
isn't.
shoot suppressed, it's not really like you really want to go back to
No.
not shooting suppressed, and you kind of, look at people funny when they don't.
Mm-mm.
At least I kind of do a little bit, but I'm a little bit spoiled when it comes to that. So,
no.
so like I said, get that gun running and everything. I'm actually probably gonna, as we're recording this podcast, I'm gonna test fire it today because it's midnight.
Oh yeah. I'm like, what?
Yeah, but I'm gonna take it to the range and test fire today. But
Yeah.
one of the other calibers, I guess, in the AR-15 platform that you can look out for is also the 22 arc, which is essentially the same 6 arc casing but with a 22 caliber bullet, mainly for varmint hunting.
That sounds like a fun one.
Coyote round, bobcat round. So we'll probably be putting one of those together as well.
That would be maybe that'll be my second one instead.
Excuse me, a 22 arc.
Yeah.
You can do that.
I mean, use yours for long range if we're hunting.
I mean, you can shoot that 22 arc. It's cooking. Like, it's moving pretty fast. Especially if you get out like 16, maybe even an 18-inch barrel.
Just plink some armadillos and.
Oh yeah. Well, you're gonna do more than plink an armadillo.
I said plink.
Yeah, you
I'm
said
thinking about like a lever
Like,
action Henry
it's,
rifle.
It's good. Yeah, it's gonna
not
be
the
more
same.
like plunk. Like you're gonna plunk an armadillo. But yeah, 22 arcs, a great caliber, and then also you move into like your bigger calibers, which you can build on an AR-10 platform, which are going to be like your 308s, your 6.5 Creedmoors, which is pretty cool to run in a semi-auto. Your 6 Creedmoors, and there's a little company called Nemesis that builds a 300 Win Mag AR, which is really, really big magnum caliber. It's a pretty cool gun if you haven't want to check out their Instagram page and stuff and their social media. You can see their Nemesis 300 Win Mag rifle, which is pretty cool. So we kind of talked about like with the ammo situation, you want to shoot the best ammo you can find. Yeah. Obviously that should be your goal across any firearm platform that you're using, from pistols, rifles, shotguns, everything. You want to shoot the best ammo you can find. I mean, you're going to see better performance. Kind of gone are the days of just grabbing anything off the shelf, especially when you want to shoot long range and make sure that you're, grouping and making precision shots like you want to. So always think about... It
could be your ammo.
Always think about your ammo. If you're running into any issues, you're seeing different groupings or stuff's just going on, going wrong and not going the way you want to.
Yeah.
And you can also, even though you find the right ammo, it's good to, if you find ammo you like, it's good to buy in larger quantities, because what you have are lots of ammo are made at one time. So you would like to get ammo that are in the same lot versus being varied from different lot to lot to lot. Like, you kind of want ammo that's all been manufactured all together. Mm-hmm. So it'd be cool to like buy all that at one time versus, buying a box here and a box there and a box here.
I'm going to order 500 rounds.
Yeah, the 5.56.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to get it like that to where you're taking out the different variables that you could see, in your performance.
Batch to batch. Yep.
But like I said, we got a lot of plans to build some ARs and put them in the application and use them hunting, target shooting, training.
They're also, from what I understand, they're also like one of the major reasons is we hunt places that are very dusty. Like, for example, this is just an example. Mm-hmm. And the functionality of an AR platform versus a bolt gun when it comes to elements like dirt, wind, dust, whatever, from what you've told me and what I've seen, is way less problematic than a bolt gun.
Yeah.
Like there's way less room for error when it comes to cycling that rifle as opposed to, you know, the amount of dust and debris you can get that damages.
And also like with a bolt gun, although it is closed off, when you do get dust and stuff in it, it's like kind of more detrimental. Like you can open up an AR and get to the internal parts of it and clean it out and fix it
with a bolt gun.
Yeah, you definitely gonna have to like take the gun apart. It's just not as simple to do.
Right.
So you're able to diagnose and like fix problems a lot easier with those. And a lot of them now, man, I mean, they're so much lighter. Like,
oh, that's the other thing.
So much lighter to carry around and pack around and store and a lot of things than bolt guns, because you can't really take bolt guns apart. I mean, now they're coming out with ones with like a foldable stocks and the Q minifix and all stuff like that.
Yes.
But for the most part, that side of the firearms industry hasn't got into the modular, lightweight stuff as much. Now you're seeing a little bit of it, like I said, with the collapsible stocks and carbon fiber stocks and carbon fiber barrels and stuff. But it's still at some point it kind of has a threshold that the ARs don't fit.
To be modular.
No.
They just happen to be coming up with ideas now.
Yeah.
And like working back toward that versus like ARs are designed to be modular. Like
exactly. Just kind of like the same thing with ARs. Like you said, ARs were designed to be modular, and now they're moving into being a
less
lot
modular.
more. No, not less modular, but a lot more accurate. A lot.
Yeah.
Seeing a better performance than
better
you
fits.
did.
Like you're saying, like better fits part to part.
Yep.
Yeah.
The tolerances are tighter.
Yeah.
Like to just make functionality of all the
as if it's
components.
One piece versus
Exactly. So there's a lot of different options you can go with building your first AR. There's a lot of different options you can go with building your 101st AR. But like I said, we kind of want to do this podcast just to kind of get the ball rolling on some of the things we're working on, some of the things we want to share with y'all.
Why we even decided to build 3, now probably 4 and more ARs. Like there's a purpose behind it. Home protection. We mentioned that, but that's a big one for us as far as making sure that we have what we need here and we're both trained and comfortable with these. And that's one, because this world is crazy and it's crazier every day.
Stay strapped to get clapped.
For sure.
But like you said, also hunting, that's
a big one too.
Providing food, because we all like hunting, shooting piggies and coyotes.
Piggies.
And everything else. Yeah.
The little ones are the best.
Barbecue hole.
Seriously.
We were talking about it today at work, and we were talking, saying we're going to come out with some patches, some shirts. Just call it Squeal Team 6.
Yes.
Instead of SEAL Team 6.
I love that.
Yeah. We're going to have a little pig with nods.
If you guys aren't familiar, most of you guys are probably from Texas, but if you're not, hogs are a huge nuisance here. So like, we're not shooting farm pigs, I promise.
No.
We're talking about the feral hogs.
Yeah. Wild pigs.
Yeah.
And they make great running targets for you to train on and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So this podcast is a little shorter, but we're going to get into some more stuff. We got some pretty cool guests coming up here soon. Like I said, I know Jared's coming back. We're going to get him on the podcast.
There's lots of friends that are hunting overseas.
Yeah. Brandon came back. Brandon Meyer from out West Texas, out in New Zealand. Philip and Jessica were in New Zealand and had great success. So you can check out their past podcasts. We're going to try and get them back on. Axis season has been rolling.
I'm still waiting on my day.
I've been trying to get Trey from Axis Addict back on the podcast. He killed a stud a couple weeks ago, and definitely want to hear that story. We love talking Axis with him because he loves them just as much as we do. And we got some other stuff coming down the pipe to get some more guests on the podcast, some different topics. We're definitely going to dive into like the whole AR shooting side, precision stuff. So I'm going to get some of the people that know a lot more than me to get on to share this stuff. And then I'm also going to use it as a resource to learn and get better myself. Like Meagan said, she has goals of shooting 3-gun, which is AR, shotguns, and pistols.
I don't even know. Like, the first time I saw it, I was just like, I want to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And now it's like for sure a goal of mine in the next 5 years to at least compete in one competition. Like, not to do anything crazy, just I want to compete.
Yeah.
So now that Haston's here, we can start practicing and working toward that.
Yep, and I want to get into some more long range stuff. I want to get into some CQB clearing rooms and stuff's a lot of fun to
The
do.
CQB is stressful.
A lot. Well, in certain environments, obviously it's not
CQB
fun.
is close quarter combat.
Close
right?
quarter battle. CQB.
Oh, CQB.
Yeah.
Why does it close?
CQC. Somebody call it that too.
Whatever.
Yeah, there's all kind of acronyms, but like it obviously in some aspects it's not fun. It's a job by our military and stuff, but being able to train and do those kind of things is I feel like anything with making you capable.
A team, you're gonna enjoy that.
Yeah, and I think too, even if you we love shooting archery as well. Mm-hmm. I was actually talking to hopefully one of our future guests, Jeremy Murray, and he was saying how like if you're a shooter, you're a shooter. And it kind of like goes across platforms no matter what.
That's true.
Like if you're shooting bolt guns, ARs, pistols, archery, like if you're practicing shooting in general, even shotguns, it's making you better across the board and everything else as well. So the more you train, the better you get, the better we hunt.
I would have to agree with that. Like discipline, attention to detail, you care for your your guns, and I mean, time in all of it.
Yeah.
Under pressure.
So if you're getting bored with one platform, step out, try something else.
Mix it up a little.
Yeah, mix it up a little bit and then come back to it. Who knows? You might be in a little funk with one thing and you try something else and it helps you out. So we're definitely going to try and put as much work into this as we can. Because like I said, it goes across the board for hunting and everything else. But we hope you enjoy the ride and enjoy listening to us ramble and babble about all the things that we want to accomplish. And hopefully it gets you motivated to accomplish some things yourself. Who knows? You could be the next USPCA Grand Master.
Oh,
yeah, I think it's Grand Master. See the Grand Master. So if you're feeling the itch to try something new, I definitely will stand behind you. Shoot us a DM. I'll cheer you on the whole way. But we'll
How do you want to wrap that up?
But thanks for listening, guys, on this podcast this week. We hope you got a little piece of information and maybe sent you into a spiral of research and things that you can build on your next AR. And like I said, always reach out to us if you have any questions. We'll be glad to help you. We'll be glad to
just share our experience.
Yeah, share our experience and help you out with yours. Mm-hmm. We get it, like you said, we got a lot of friends out hunting right now, so I'm definitely living through them, and we can live through you a little bit too in your shooting journey. So appreciate y'all listening to the podcast this week. Please share it with a friend. Leave us a review. Follow us on Instagram. Subscribe to Bar MC Media's YouTube channel. We may have a new YouTube channel dropping
things
soon.
In the works.
Yeah, we're working. So
keep an eye out.
Hopefully, guys, we'll catch y'all next week, and we'll have another podcast.
Peace out.